So, a bit of a fun question. What gets you up in the morning? What's your favorite part about being a producer?
What gets me up in the morning? How to get something made. Because it is everything about being a producer. So someone brings you a great idea, or you read a clipping in the newspaper, or you see a play, or you read a book. How are you going to get it made? And that is what gets me up every single day. It's because it is, in effect, it's a challenge, it's a journey. Robert Frost had a great poem, "Two roads diverged in the wood, and I took the one less traveled, and that's made all the difference." There isn't a path in what we're doing. There's no clear way that says, if you do this, Adam, you're going to get there. You've got to find your own way. And so every morning I literally get up, and I know the handful of projects we're in the process of trying to get made. And I think about, what's it going to take? Who do I have to call? What's the angle? What's the thing? Should we start digitally? Should we start, online? Should it be a half hour? Should it be an hour? Should it be a dramedy? Should it be, that's what I do. Who are the buyers? Who partners up well with this broadcaster? That's what my brain is full of every morning.
Fair enough. That would get you up in the morning. That's really is the most important part. Now I wanted to ask you a fun question, because the next one might be a little bit difficult. As it is for most producers. Now, you produce many, many things. What sticks out, and what has a very special place in your heart of all the projects you produced?
That's a really...
I know.
No, it is. It's a really... Because every single one of them I am incredibly proud of. And every single one, to be honest, is my baby, our baby. And so I was incredibly proud to remake the Terry Fox story. I had a young daughter. My daughter now is 16, but at the time, she was running in the Terry Fox run, but she hadn't really seen that old movie. Do you know what I mean? And I wanted to make it more real for her and for that generation of kids. So I was very proud of that, incredibly proud that we had the support of the family and Doug, Terry's best friend. And we didn't shoot all of Canada, we shot a lot of Canada. So I was very proud of that. I'm very proud of Berdock. We're about to shoot 100 episodes or more. It started out as 3 movies that morphed from being movies to a series, and every year it grows an audience. It doesn't lose an audience. People aren't getting tired of Berdock. Bigger. So I'm very proud of that. I'm proud of Life with Derek. I'm really proud of. I think that show for kids, I still hear from parents how much as a family they loved watching Life with Derek. But I think it was a series that was authentic. It was real. It was about our world is often blended families, and it felt very real. So I was very proud of that. And, so it's I think I'm the luckiest person in the world, because we're shooting a film right now with, all the young writers, all the young actors from Life with Derek, from Dark Oracle was that series I did, from Terry Fox. They're all coming together to make a feature, and in a way, we worked with them right at the beginning of all their careers. So, I think of Ellen Page, for gosh sakes. Ellen Page did a movie with us when she was 13 years of age. Tatiana Maslany. We gave her a break in the Buki movies for CBC when she was also like 13 or 14 or 15. So I'm just so proud of all of it. It's a great job.
It's hard to track it down to just one.
It's very hard. Yeah.
But I would be proud too, just to have to reel that off.
Yeah, that was a fraction, but thank you.
So I have to ask, who are your role models? Who do you look up to as a producer? Maybe not now, maybe when you were just starting out, but who do you still think of as an inspiration?
I've thought a lot about this question. As a woman starting, it was interesting. There weren't a lot of role models, to be honest, when I started. So, and I never really thought of myself as a woman in this business, but so, again, I sort of just forged ahead. And I never was really frightened about failure. I think that's because of being the serial entrepreneur. I knew if this didn't work, I'd probably find something else to do. I'm always, role models to me are people like, J.J. Abrams, people who've made what I think some of the best film and television in the world. I mean, I think there's nothing more valuable than being able to listen to an interview of a creator of a show or a movie that you love. And hopefully they'll be honest enough to tell you about their failures. And I went to the Canadian Film Centre 20 odd years ago, and I remember as a producer resident, and I remember that I loved, Bruce McDonald came in and he just made this movie called Roadkill, I think it was. And I loved Bruce telling us the story about how he took no money, shot this road movie in Ontario, you know, or whether it was David Putnam coming in and talking about Chariots of Fire, or Neil Jordan coming in, you know, and talking about was it Mona Lisa, I think. Anyway, those, like, you just, that to me, those are the role models. Those are the people that make great creative content. And the bottom line is, I can be a great businesswoman, but you have to have great creative content. So those are really my role models.
Are you the kind? It's not part of the program, but are you the kind of person who goes over, watches a DVD, and then goes through the commentary track?
I do a bit of that. I do. The problem with me is there aren't enough minutes in a day, so
fair enough.
I tend to get to the end of something, and then I just have to move on to the next thing. So, but yeah, no, I love all that.
Very inspirational. You've taught inspirational stuff. You've talked about lessons that you've learned, but there are a lot of aspiring content producers out there who, especially who are looking for a strong female role model. Would you have any advice for them?
Yeah, I've got advice. I think probably the first thing I would say to someone is you have to be incredibly passionate about whatever it is you do, and you have to be prepared to go the distance, and you mustn't give up, and it will be hard, and everyone will tell you it can't be done. I mean, that first film I made, Camilla, all those years ago for $10 million, I'll never forget telling a group of people that I was going to go after this actress, Jessica Tandy, who had just won the Academy Award for Driving Miss Daisy, and they said to me, Christina, they're not going to return your phone calls, you've never done anything. And I thought, well, that's not the attitude to take. What's the worst that could happen? I'm going to pick up the phone to an agent and he's going to say no. It's not going to be about who I am. So there are going to be rejections. There's going to be people telling you can't do it. There's going to be people saying it's not good enough. So you've got to be passionate. You've got to stay passionate about your craft. I would also tell people to make sure you don't put all your eggs in one basket. I tell everybody here, you can't have, in my opinion, one project. What happens if right now that one project doesn't go? You've got to have a bunch of projects. And I'm not saying you split yourself too thin, but things that you're passionate, have 2 or 3. And make sure when you're going to finance or you're going to figure out how to make it, make sure it's not what I call one-stop shopping. So I come to Adam and I say, Adam, I got this really great series, and you go, I don't like it. And no one else, and you're the only market in town? That's not a very clever way to go. So make sure you've got fallback positions.
What else have you got in your backpack, so
What
to
else?
speak?
What have you got in your backpack? The other thing I cannot tell you how important is research. You've got to know your market. You've got to know when you're going out and pitching something, what are the other things like it in the world? How have they done in the world? Is it maybe it's time for a remake of something like that? So many people haven't done their research. It doesn't take very long. And in this day and age where you can Google anything, do your research, know what you're trying to sell, know what you're, just as I say, do that hard work. So I think those would be passion, research, never give up. Those would probably, don't have everything in one basket.
That's some really good advice. I know I'm inspired, but I think the people watching at home are really going to take away from that. Well, I think that's all the time we have for today. Christina, I really wanted to thank you.
My pleasure.
I can't wait to see what comes out of Shaftesbury in the future.
Thank you.
I'm Adam, and this has been an Out of Frame exclusive.